I still remember the exact moment my silence became his biggest mistake. It was a quiet evening, the kind where everything feels calm on the outside, but something deep inside you just doesn't sit right. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone, waiting for him to come home, like I always did, because back then, I was that woman, the one who believed love meant patience, trust, understanding. And him? He knew that. "Don't worry so much," he used to say, brushing off my concerns with a careless smile. "You think too much." Maybe I did, or maybe I was just noticing the cracks he thought I'd never see. We had been together for 3 years. 3 years of shared dreams, late-night talks, and promises that felt so real at the time. I built my world around him. Every plan I made had his name in it. Every future I imagined included us, but what I didn't know that day was that my world wasn't as real as I thought it was. It started with small things, late replies, missed calls, excuses that didn't quite add up. And every time I asked, he had the same answer. "You're overthinking again." So I stayed quiet, because I loved him, because I trusted him, because I didn't want to be that girl, the one who questions everything. But silence has a strange way of turning into awareness. One night, his phone buzzed while he was in the shower. I wasn't planning to check it. I wasn't that person, but something inside me pushed me, and when I looked at the screen, everything changed. A message. Not just any message. "Miss you already. Last night was perfect." My hands froze. My heart didn't break instantly. It just went quiet, like it didn't know how to react yet. I stared at those words, hoping they'd somehow change. But they didn't. That's when I realized something. He didn't think I'd ever find out. He thought I'd stay quiet. And for a moment, I did. But what he didn't know was that my silence wasn't weakness anymore. It was the beginning of something he would never expect. That night, I didn't cry. And honestly, that scared me more than anything, because I knew myself. I was emotional. I felt everything deeply. But this time, I felt nothing, just a strange calm, like my heart had already started building a wall to protect itself. When he walked out of the shower, smiling like nothing had happened, I looked at him, and for the first time I saw a stranger. "Everything okay?" he asked casually. I smiled back. "Yeah, everything's fine." And just like that, the game changed. But what I didn't show him was that I had already started seeing everything differently. I began noticing patterns. The nights he stayed busy. The way he kept his phone closer than before. The sudden interest in looking perfect before stepping out. And slowly, the truth started revealing itself piece by piece. Her name was Sarah. I found it in messages, in saved contacts, in little clues he was too careless to hide properly. At first, I wanted to confront him. I wanted to scream, cry, demand answers. But then a thought stopped me. Why give him the chance to lie again? Why give him the power to control the story? So instead, I stayed quiet. But this time, it wasn't out of love. It was strategy. Days turned into weeks, and I played my role perfectly. I laughed when he joked, listened when he spoke, and acted like everything was normal. Meanwhile, I was collecting everything: screenshots, messages, call logs, even pictures, every lie he told. I turned into proof, and the more I saw, the stronger I became, because something shifted inside me. I stopped asking, why did he do this to me? And started thinking, he has no idea what's coming. One evening, he casually mentioned, "I'm going out with friends tonight." I nodded. Okay, but I already knew where he was going, because Sarah had posted a picture earlier that day at the same restaurant he claimed he'd never been to. That was the moment. I made my decision. I wasn't going to break down. I wasn't going to beg. I wasn't even going to fight. I was going to expose the truth in a way he would never forget. and for the first time in weeks, I felt something again. Not pain, power. The night everything unfolded was the same night he thought he had everything under control. He walked into that restaurant, confident, relaxed, completely unaware that his carefully built lies were about to collapse. I was already there, sitting quietly at a corner table, watching, waiting, and when I saw him walk in, with her, I didn't feel pain anymore, just clarity. I stood up slowly and walked toward them. At first, he didn't notice me, but when he did, his entire expression changed. Shock, fear, panic. What are you doing here?" he stuttered. I looked at him calmly. "I could ask you the same." Sarah looked confused, glancing between us. "Who is she?" I smiled gently. "That's a good question." And then, I placed my phone on the table. One by one, I opened everything. Messages, pictures, proof. Not just for him, but for her too. The silence that followed was louder than any argument. He tried to speak, to explain, to fix it, but for the first time, I didn't let him. "No," I said softly. "You've said enough." I turned to Sarah. "You deserve to know the truth too." And then I walked away. No shouting, no tears, no drama, just truth. Behind me, I could hear his voice calling my name. But I didn't turn back, because I finally understood something important. Closure doesn't come from explanations. It comes from knowing your worth. Weeks later, I heard he lost everything. Not just me, but her too. Because lies don't just break one heart, they destroy everything they touch. And me? I didn't feel broken anymore. I felt free. Because the girl who once stayed quiet had finally found her voice. And the truth is, silence isn't weakness, but knowing when to break it. That's real power.